Okay, question 3. So where are we down? Module 8, calculation quiz 4. And see, I got the video links up there so you can actually check them in here now. Okay. In the chart, so I got some kind of chart. Test whether the row is independent of the column. And then has this as my link. So if I come here, I should read that before, but I already know what it's going to say. So, I get charts, columns, kind of what we call matrices here. So if I put a bunch of numbers in here, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 3, and then maybe 1, 3, 4, calculate. Okay, I get a chi-squared score, and we get p-value. So that's a high p-value. Let's try putting a 21 in here, and a 43, 31. Maybe put in some extra information over here, 12, 15. And it looks like a matrix, and now you're getting, whoa, a very low p-value. Okay, but I'm getting the idea here. Just stick in some numbers, and I can adjust it as needed, and then do problems. Okay, deft, 54. Calculate. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to be putting in a chart of information and getting something to work. Okay, let's go over to a Word document and make something up. Okay, let's say that the gender and the political parties for a group of students is recorded in the following chart. Okay, we're running out of room here. Maybe I'll make it bigger. The gender and political parties for a group is is inserted in this chart. Let's make a table. Let's say Republican, Democrat, boy, girl. So we need 2 rows, 2 columns. Oh, but we're gonna need some labels too. So maybe we'll go 3, 3. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so we got maybe the political parties are Republican, Republican versus Democrat, and then we got some men and some women. And let's say in this room there's like something, let's say there's 30 Republican men and there's only 10 Democratic men, and then among the women there's like 15 Republican women and there's 15 Democratic women. So we can see here that the men, there's about 30 out of 40, so about 75% are Republican and only 25% are Democrat. And for the women it's more of a split. So we might ask a question like, is gender independent of political party? So we can see if men or women are more likely to be Republican or Democrat or something like that. Oh yeah, this is a question. That doesn't take it. So in this case, we'd be running a chi-squared test. And the chi-squared test would be something like 1. Our null hypothesis here is h sub 0. And there's a little bit of subtlety in here, but essentially it's the row variable is independent of the column variable. So one does not influence the other, versus an alternative that usually says something along the lines of the row variable is dependent on the column variable. I have no idea why that didn't show up. Let's go to another row then. Let's see if that works. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's got this 2 out here now. Gotta get rid of that. There we go. Something like that. So in more English terms, right, this is like saying h sub 0, gender influences politics, or gender does not influence politics, political standing, versus an alternative of essentially it does, right? Gender does influence political standing or political party. So in this case, we're going to have a chi-squared test. So it's going to be a chi-square score. Still going to have a p-value. And then we're going to do the hypothesis test to see what the conclusion is. So come over into our chart here. I'm going to have to delete a bunch of this useless information from when I was playing. 2, and we have 30 with 10 and 15 with 15. Notice it just looks exactly like the chart, and I just inserted it here. So calculate, and let's see how things turned out. Looks like we have a chi-squared score that is about 4.667. 4.667. My p-value is 0.0307. And notice that this is less than our typical cutoff level of 0.05. So now I actually get to reject my null hypothesis. I have evidence, on the contrary, of the alternative. I have evidence that there is an influence, that the row variable is dependent on the column variable. So I have evidence that gender does play a role in the determination of one's political party. There's a lot of subtlety for this one because there is the case that there's homogeneity versus independence and all these other little elements in there, but we'll talk about that more in class. Just as the mechanics to run the test, you're going to insert the information from the matrix into the chart, run the test, and then follow it just like usual.